Welcome to a place that should be a sanctuary, a place of healing and care. But tonight, it will become something far darker. This is the story of Sophia, a woman who found herself trapped in a hospital room, unable to move, but forced to experience everything around her.
Sophia had been in a car accident, and after the collision, she found herself paralyzed from the waist down. The doctors did their best, but they couldn't restore what had been lost. She was left with only one thing: time. And in that time, she would learn that being unable to move didn't mean she was alone. The first night, Sophia noticed something strange. At first, it seemed like a trick of the light. The shadow moved just outside her door, but this wasn't an ordinary shadow. It seemed to linger, unseen but undeniably present. It started with whispers. Quiet at first, the kind of whispers you might dismiss as your imagination. But soon they began to call her name. Sophia. In a hospital full of patients and staff, how could anyone be certain it was just her mind? She tried to call for help, but her body wouldn't respond. The shadows were no longer outside the room, they were inside. In the corner, a figure stood, tall, thin, and faceless. It was as if the darkness itself had taken form, and it was waiting, watching. Sophia's paralysis wasn't just physical, it was as if the terror was paralyzing her soul. She couldn't scream, couldn't escape, couldn't even blink without feeling the presence of that shadow creeping closer. Sophia's paralysis wasn't just physical, it was as if the terror was paralyzing her soul. She couldn't scream, couldn't escape, couldn't even blink without feeling the presence of that shadow creeping closer. And just like that, it was gone. The nurse checked her vitals, routine, ordinary, as if nothing had happened, as if Sophia had imagined it all, but she knew better. Something had been there, and worse, it wasn't finished with her. She fought sleep, dreading what would come when the lights dimmed, but exhaustion won, and the moment her eyes fluttered shut, the whispers returned. This time they weren't distant, they were inside her head. Her body felt cold, wrong, as if something unseen was crawling beneath her skin, wrapping itself around her soul. And then she understood. The shadow hadn't just been watching her, it had been waiting for her to sleep, waiting to claim her.
Sophia was gone. No alarms had sounded, no footsteps had been heard. She had simply vanished. The hospital records would list her as a missing patient, but no one could explain how a paralyzed woman had simply disappeared overnight. No one, except those who knew the truth. Sophia never left the hospital. She was still there, somewhere beyond the veil of what we call reality, waiting, watching. And if you ever find yourself alone in room 204, you might just hear the whispers too. Sleep well tonight, but remember, the darkness is always closer than you think.